All right, Chris! I was asked to give a speech today, so before I get started, I'd like to point out that I don't normally have a problem speaking in front of large groups of people. In the past few years, I've been lucky enough to have been in a few weddings where I've enjoyed the chance to talk in front of people about my friendship and my love for the bride and groom. Some of those people are here today. Today seems different to me for some reason. My palms are sweaty, there's a lump in my throat, and I feel a bit nervous. Perhaps because today I'm speaking about my sister and the baby of our family getting married. Or perhaps I just have to poop. I'd like to also point out that I don't normally drink as much as I have today and then try to speak in front of this many people. So with a good speech, a little liquid courage, and some killer dance moves tonight, I'm going to try to take home that hot piece of ass I walked down the aisle with. I'll warn you in advance, the jokes get better the more you drink. I'm quick-witted. I love to have a good time, and I put some serious thought and effort into this speech, so grab a drink, pay attention, and don't take anything too seriously. This is going to be an awkward night. Courtney, either way, if I screw this up, I can always retry another speech at your next wedding. For those of you that don't know me, you're lost. My name is Chris, and I'm Courtney's brother. That hot piece of ass I was referring to is my wife, Michelle, of 6 years. And that handsome little ring bearer was our son, Cannon. Speaking of which, where is he? Cannon! Somebody's got him. Anyhow, before I get wasted, before I get started, I'd like to thank Nate, Courtney, and all the friends and family that helped in putting on such a wonderful wedding. A special thank you to Cassandra and Thomas for letting us use their home and barn as the wedding venue. Please make sure you all thank them tonight, but more importantly, make sure we all respect their property. To the wedding party, you all look great. You should really dress up more often. Nate and Courtney, you have an amazing group of family and friends up here, and I'm proud to not only be a member of this family, but to be considered a friend to these men and women up here. Some of you I've known for years. Some of you I wish I hadn't. For those of you that don't know, some of the bridal party went to Las Vegas last month for a co-bachelor-bachelorette party. We all stayed at the MGM Grand together. The guys had their suite and the girls had theirs. We all hung out at the pool together and then went our separate ways at night. Vegas is where I feel I got to spend time and really bond with some of Nate and Courtney's friends. I learned a lot about this group on that trip. For instance, I learned that Tony here is extremely reliable. If you're ever in Las Vegas, you need to make sure you get back to the hotel room after a long night out. Tony will make sure you get back to your room. Or at least to the doorstep anyways. You guys can ask me about it later. There may or may not be footage. I have the footage. I learned that when you're with a group of guys, it's best to put on suntan lotion on each other in the hotel room instead of when you're all standing together at the pool. I learned that body hair may keep you warm in the winter, but ironically there was reports of grizzly bear sightings in Las Vegas that weekend. I learned that my friend Justin keeps his Spiker Ice hair gel in a container made for and labeled as face lotion. I walked around Las Vegas that day feeling like I rode down with my head out the airplane window. My face is still tight from that day. All in all, we had a great time and left nothing on the table. Except for Ben. Ben left some steak on the table. Ben was absolutely livid at the thought of leaving behind part of an $80 steak. I had to remind him that we were at a nice restaurant and to stop growling every time the waiter tried to clear his plate. It's okay, Ben. I'm sure it went to a good home, buddy. I could talk for hours about how much fun we had and the memories we made. But just remember this when you're in Vegas. Scared money don't make money. You gonna make it? I'd like to tell you all a little bit about my sister Courtney. Courtney and I met back in '91 at a hospital of all places. Here I thought Mom and Dad were done blessing me with competition for their love and attention after my other two sisters, Cassie and Caitlin. Boy, was I wrong. I was denied bail for a third time and sworn to protect and serve yet another sister. It started out okay. You see, she's closest in age to Cassie and Caitlin, and they're all girls, so I never really got roped into that kind of stuff with the girls. She was a beautiful little girl, but could really hold her own. She could be sweet one minute and kill you with a glare the next. Nate knows she still has that glare. When Courtney was a toddler, I remember her balling up a fist and sticking up for her older two sisters when they came home crying. She wasn't afraid of anyone. She was the cutest little thing, but had no problem standing up for herself and anyone she was with. I remember her coming into my room in the middle of the night and crawling in bed with me when something scared her. I started to notice that Courtney and I got along pretty well. It wasn't until years later I figured out what a Gemini was and that we were both Geminis born 7 years apart. And the constellation of Gemini depicts a set of twins. So to me, that explained our closeness. As time went on, we became closer and closer. I remember a wonderful childhood. I remember a wonderful childhood with all of my siblings. Our yearly camping trips to Fort Flagler, where we all learned to drive. Holidays and birthdays with friends and family. Building snowmen in the front yard, getting the best Christmas present ever. Our dog Missy. Picking up and taking my sister to school when I finally got my first car, an old Pontiac Firebird with T-tops. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
I remember taking that car through the car wash right after I bought it and coming out soaked head to toe because the whole top leaked. I remember Mom cooking dinner almost every night and the six of us all sitting around the table talking about our day. I can still picture all of us at that table. Everyone had their spot. I sat between Courtney and Dad. As the girls got older, I used to love teasing and playing tricks on them. Caitlin was the easiest. I'd do something and she'd go crying to Mom or Dad and then get in trouble for being a crybaby. I remember I once told Cassie and Courtney that Orajel was toothpaste and then laughed hysterically when they walked around the house crying and drooling because they couldn't feel their tongue. As Courtney got older, boy, did she get hit with the ugly stick. I mean, there were some rough years in there, guys. Braces, glasses, the whole works. Today, she seems to have outgrown most of the ugliness. There's still traces of it, though. Like when she laughs so hard, her nostrils flare open and shut, like they're doing right now. They flare so wide, you think the poor girl is struggling for oxygen. Anyhow, who would have thought she ended up such a beautiful bride? And Courtney, I do think you're an absolutely stunning bride. Today's your day. Enjoy it. In all seriousness, Courtney's one of my best friends, and I think the world ever. Her compassion for others is bar none. She's beautiful, confident, outgoing, and one of the best people I know. Courtney is a wonderful sister, daughter, aunt, and friend, and will no doubt make a phenomenal wife. Which brings me to my next topic, Nate. The first couple times I met Nate, I don't think I said 2 words to him. I remember my mom telling me that Courtney had a new boyfriend, but that she was afraid to bring him around me. I remember my mom finally calling and asking me and my wife over to the house for family dinner. Courtney was going to be bringing her new boyfriend, and I remember Mom telling me I had to be nice. And my wife told me I had to be nice as well. He sat across the table from me that night. I think I just glared at him the whole dinner. The way a lion looks at you through the zoo, looks through you at the glass at the zoo. I did my best to make it as uncomfortable for him as possible, while still being nice. As the months went on, I eventually started warming up to him. A few years into the relationship, I could tell Courtney thought he was the one, and to tell you the truth, so did I. Me and Nate first really bonded over a few drinks during my sister's 22nd wedding. We started at Bumpy's and bar hopped our way around Puyallup. 22nd birthday. 22nd birthday. Anyhow, we started at Bumpy's and bar hopped our way around Puyallup. And I ended up gaining a new friend that day. As the month and years rolled on, we hosted several events at our house. We celebrated birthdays, holiday parties, and summer barbecues. Courtney and Nate were always invited, and we loved it when they could make it. It was at these events that Nate and I learned more and more about each other. For example, I learned that Nate had ex-girlfriends, and he learned that I had guns. I also learned that he once had 2 ponies, named Ruby and Snickers. Whatever happened to Ruby and Snickers? There goes Courtney's nostrils. When Nate asked me to be his groomsman and stand by his side while he married my baby sister, I told him I'd be honored. The truth of the matter is, I love Nate, and I knew he was the right one for my sister years ago. I'm just glad they figured it out. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He's handsome, kind, caring, and more importantly, he loves my sister. To the Irving family, Mr. and Mrs. Irving specifically, the utmost compliment I could think to give to you is to compliment you on raising such a wonderful young man. As we sit here today and celebrate the marriage of Nate and Courtney, I ask you all to think of what you witnessed today and what you've taken part in. You're here because these two wanted to celebrate their marriage and profess their love and commitment to each other in front of their closest friends and family. And being a married man, I can tell you, one of the things that I'm always aware of is who's there for us and with us in times of need. Who's there for us and with us in times of great joy and happiness, or times of difficulty and sorrow. It's not always the same people, and it's not always for the same reason, but I know who's there. Be there. Be there to celebrate the good times with this new couple as they explore life together, and be there for them when they need you. Be the friend or family member you'd want others to be to you. Courtney and Nate, I will always be here for you. I love you. Congratulations. And now some advice. It's okay. Married life is hard. It's hard, but it's the best decision you'll ever make. Marriage isn't something you just do. It's something you constantly work at. Marriage isn't something you simply try hard at until you don't want to try it anymore. The more you put into the marriage, the more you'll get out. Amen. Communicate. When times get tough, ask yourself if you're communicating. Learn to communicate the way your partner is most receptive to. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't sweat the petty things. Pet the sweaty things. Have lots of sex. To Courtney and Nate.